Hi guys, I felt like doing one more video to, I can't think of the word, but the last video I did felt like it needed an addendum, as it were. There were many things that I wanted to say that I subsequently forgot because of everything that transpired. And so I guess I'm sat here doing that now. Because first and foremost, what I really wanted to convey is that it's not about how it makes us feel, but it's about what we do with that matters. Because the dark habitual consciousness, or the mass consciousness, the dark consciousness, and it is habitual in every imaginable way, and habits are formed, they are your obsessive compulsive tendencies, really. That's what habits are, and they're there because of programming. It's trauma-based mind control, after all. Okay. The reason the NPCs are all around us is because it is their job to keep us stuck in that consciousness, which is the consciousness of self-loathing, of being against self, of being in a state of perpetual fear. Even though a lot of soul people can't see that, when they can't see it, it's because they're not ready to see that. Not at all. And it literally is there in their subconscious, the room that nobody wants to go into. It's there. But for those of us who are actual soul travelers, who are ready to start to really empower themselves, and this doesn't happen in one foul swoop, this happens by degrees. It's called the spiral path. Ergo, my channel is called the Kismet Spiral. I did the last video I did, and then pandemonium ensued with the leaf blowers, the lawn mowers, the gadgetry, all the insanity. Just and you know, I could have chosen not to post it on account of I got irate, I got upset about it, and it was all a bit chaotic. But I thought, no, I will post it, because you know what? It shows you the truth. It shows the truth. It's really difficult to walk as a soul traveler, as a being of light, a magical being in this insane asylum, more now than ever before. It's like walking a tightrope. I've said this many times before. And it's all the difference between self-loathing, self-hate, self-attack, and self-love. And that is a choice that you make continually. And if you do your inner work, you will see, witness the changes happening within you, within your consciousness. But you must be willing to dispense with the victimhood. Because if you don't, if you carry on choosing that and choosing to believe that you're a hapless, powerless victim, you're not going to get anywhere. If you keep believing in the power of death and decay and the NPCs doing it to you, then you're not going to get anywhere. You will feel that way, absolutely. I feel that way because it's programming, it's trauma-based mind control. We have lived it. We have lived it. But at the same time, What do you do with those thoughts? What do you do with those feelings? If you are really aware, you will notice the daily inundation of programming, of habitual dark consciousness, the old operating system, as it were, whereby you don't expect good things to happen. You just expect issues, you expect problems, you expect things to go wrong, you expect not to be okay. You feel like you're with your back against the wall at every turn, and there's nowhere to run and there's nowhere to hide. And like in my last video, shit happens and it triggers you. So that is how it's meant to be. That's part of the process. It's ugly, it's brutal, it's visceral, but it's real and it's part of the process. And that's why it's like walking a tightrope, because you are a being of light and you know that, and you feel your light, you guide yourself through this journey. There are two yous within you. There is your true self, which guides you, and then there is your dark habitual consciousness self, which wants to carry on doing the same shit it's always done. Catch 22. Why not do what we've always done and expect different results? We're not going to get different results in the dark torture chamber consciousness, not. There is, to my seeing, absolutely no doubt that this world is fake. It's totally fake. It's so Truman Show-esque. It's ludicrous. Totally fake. You know, but it is very much a product of our warped imagination. It really is. It all starts in here, you see, and I take ownership of that. And I've got to the point where I no longer take it personal. Yesterday and the day before and the day before that, in fact the last 4 or 5 days I have been feeling like it's personal. We do feel like it's personal. We feel victimized. We get really passive aggressive, which is this feeling of there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide, I'm with my back against the wall, evil's doing this to me, they're all doing it to me. And it's writhing in that agony and feeling sorry for yourself, that you hate yourself, because if you're that powerless, you're not going to be able to love yourself. Because it's there that you believe there is nothing you can do. And that is the program, that evil always wins and there's nothing you can do. And it isn't true, but boy, it feels true. It feels so fucking true that it bludgeons the fuck out of you and it crushes you and it paralyzes you. I know this. But in that profound black misery, if you are a soul traveler, you will know your light. It will be there and it will tell you, not loudly, bombastically, but with a quiet yet very confident, persistent knowing, and it's a voice of love. It will tell you, this is not truth. This is not who you are, this is not what you are, and this experience was always a temporary one and you will come out of it. Are you ready to commit to that? Are you ready to commit to self-love? Are you ready to choose self-love? So when you go out there, as indeed we must from time to time, and we are dealing with NPCs, and somebody left a comment saying that some of the NPCs are not malevolent and not negatively charged. This is true. This is very true. A lot of them are. A lot of them are repugnant There is no doubt about that. This is true. And it triggers us, it triggers us, it triggers us. But a lot of them are neither here nor there. They're either neutral, or they can even be semi-benevolent. This is true. But if you are committed to only focusing on the negative and to focus on the belief that you're a powerless victim, well, nobody can help you then. You are your own worst enemy, and you will not get anywhere until such a time where your misery will become so horrifying that you will have no choice left but to choose self-love. If you are sold, of course, you will have to say, right, because it is how we respond to it all and what we do with it all ultimately that will determine our journey and our experience. We are not powerless. That is a program. It's very Neptunian. It's all smoke and mirrors. I posted my last video because I am not one of these individuals that does videos showing you my good sides and then keeping my dark side and my turmoil, my churnings and my problems and my getting it wrong and fucking it up to myself and pretending they don't exist. When you look on the external, you'll see that most people do that. Everybody's busy pretending there's something they're not. Especially the new age gurus. I'm not saying I'm a guru, by the way. Not at all. I'm not saying that. But that is what this world is all about. It's all about fucking pretending. I call that the Coca-Cola ad. You know, Coca-Cola. Which the only reason for that to exist is to clean your fucking toilet with. Alright? I want to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Yeah, right. I do these videos because in the hope that it will help people to help themselves in some way. Yeah? Part of being totally fucked up and broken and getting it wrong and being really reactive and being really negative and filled with hate and filled with rage, you're paralyzed by terror and fear, or feeling like they're all doing it to me and there's nothing I can do. All of this is par for the course. All of it is par for the course. You will find that when you go out there on a day where you feel these things, these emotions, these energies, life, the matrix, will respond or react to you and will give you that. You will meet these NPCs that are toxic, horrible fuckers, right? The obstructionism will be off the chart. It will all go down. It will be a torpedo experience. You will be fucking torpedoed because that is what you're feeling. And this is not to say that, oh, you're getting it wrong and so the matrix is punishing you. It isn't. That is not what I mean. But it is always there to show you exactly in weird ways truth. It isn't a straightforward thing at all, you know. It isn't like, oh, people are mirrors of you. No, they're not mirrors of you. They are mirrors of states of consciousness. They are tiny little puzzle pieces of a bigger picture. That's what they are. And that truth has been much manipulated by the new cage. That's all it ever does. Like the law of attraction where, oh, your thoughts create your reality. Do they fuck? They do not. It's your state of consciousness that creates your reality. So it's way vaster and far more complex than that. You know, the new cage movement on the external is there to manipulate truth. Yet you can look into it, through it, and discern the pearls of truth within it that it subsequently manipulates and tweaks, right? It's always fucking with our perception. Your consciousness is your responsibility, one way or another. It doesn't matter. If you continue to be in a state of victimhood, you're not going to get anywhere. That is a choice. That is a choice. Learning to think for yourself is another very important aspect of this. If you keep giving your power away, if you keep being rudderless, for whatever reason that may be, where someone else will have to tell you what your truth is, someone else will have to tell you what that means, someone else will have to tell you where to go and what to do. And believe me, I am familiar with that. I am a pretty self-determined individual in many ways. However, it's interesting that I came across somebody who was very kind of spineless in many ways, or seemingly so, and I was quite judgy toward that person. And then afterward I realized that they were showing me something about myself. And I realized that this is what it does to us. You see, because with my cat Kismet not being well, and this is still ongoing, and it's actually really horrible, and it's a major trigger. It's really bringing up some major shit here. Wow. The whole kind of like, is it not going to be all right versus the stand in your light. What is it you want? Well, of course I want him to heal and for everything to work out beautifully. So it's like, well, hold space for that then, set that intention then, imagine that in your mind's eye, and hold space for positive, magical, miraculous healing outcomes in this respect. So I do that, and then the onslaught starts. You can't do that, you're going to get hurt, it's not going to work out, and then you're going to get hurt, it's better to expect the worst. I see it all, I see all the programming. So this is how it always works, and that's a very good example, but this is how it always works. It doesn't want us in our light setting strong, positive, magical, miraculous intentions using our magic and bringing forth goodness. It tells us we can't bring forth goodness, that our intentions are as nothing, that we are powerless, right? And I was in so much fear. It was so difficult. I've been veering wildly between extreme darkness, and I mean extreme, like the onslaught, the demonic onslaught, the darkness, the fear. Oh, it's better to expect the worst, it's better to expect the worst, it's the only way. It's like, bleh. Right? I had to give him his eye drops. He went out, he didn't come back, obviously, and I had to go look for him. The whole thing, oh boy. And it was this whole reactive crap of, because I went out and I found him because there's a little spot that he likes to go. And he was there and he saw me and he ran off, and then it was great big waves of terror and fear because, oh, he needs his medication, and if he doesn't get his medication he's not going to be all right. And his eye was kind of, you know, semi-closed because they've had to remove some of his retina because he had a great big scratch on it, which then became a kind of a bigger problem and so forth and so on. Anyway, so it was like it wanted me to be in a state of reactivity, because the habitual dark consciousness is always in a state of reactivity. Control. Oh, I must be in control. I have to be in control. I have to do this. I have to go there. I have to. It's insane. And the other side here, my light said, no, you need to let go. He will come back when he's ready to come back. Maybe he needs to be left alone. Maybe that is the way to go. Maybe you don't want to be putting drops in his eye 4 times a day. Maybe twice a day today will do. He will come back. The dark side, no, he's not going to come back. He's not going to come back. He's going to get sicker and sicker. He's probably somewhere really, really sick. He won't be able to walk. He's going to die. He's going to lose his eye. All these terrible things are going to happen. And all of a sudden, I felt powerless and rudderless, and I was calling my friend who was at work and who was going through a really bad day himself. What should I do? What should I do? And it was like, oh, yeah. And I saw my own fear and my own terror and my own sense of powerlessness and my own temporary lack of sovereign self-power trusting my light, because the forces of evil were so busy attacking me, and there was so much crap coming up, because I'll get to this in a minute, that I really lost myself in that. And I think there are people who are so used to losing themselves in that, because they've been through things in their life, perhaps, that have traumatized them to such an extent that they have been severely compromised. So for them to access any kind of self-power, all that kind of programming clicks in and goes, don't you dare go there, don't you dare go there, stay on your fucking knees, stay on your knees, stay on your knees, stay on your knees. Be spineless and weak, like a little wallflower, and cower in a corner. That's the only place to be safe. Now, we're all subjected to that, all of us are, but depending on what you've been through and your level of consciousness at any given time, you know, because I certainly experienced that yesterday in a big way, you know. So all of a sudden I understood how on the external, we meet people online even, or in the world, or whatever, or perhaps a character in something that we're watching, whatever, right? We meet these people, sold NPC, that reflect something we're going through, and they have a message for us. There is always a conveyance there, always. So if you look at it that way, you will realize you're not a powerless victim, and they're not just doing it to you for no reason. The whole experience I had whilst doing that video is to show you that, well, yeah, this is not a mundane realm, for starters. It is very strange, and they are very predictable. The characters, the Truman Show-esque characters, all of it's very predictable, and it's all... But you've got to realise that when you can see that, you know, you've already reached higher ground. When you can see that, you can see how proscribed it is, how contrived it is. You can already, in that sense, rise above it. You are rising above it. Choose yourself. Choose self-love. Self-love is to cultivate awareness of what is going on within your consciousness. There is the dark operating system versus the light operating system. Back in the day, I installed a new operating system on my computer, and it was a fucking piece of shit. It was crap. It didn't work well. It was very obstructionist. It was shit. It's like that. Versus installing a new operating system, which is beautiful, which is magical, miraculous. And yeah, things are dire now. I know that. But you see, there's a reason for that. And it sort of, I don't know why, but it sort of made me think of a boxer. Remember Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay? He was a boxer with an IQ level, which is actually quite it's rare, because most boxers are not very bright. And I'm not saying that I like boxing, because I don't. I think it's disgusting. But he was an intelligent guy, and he used to win most, if not all, of his fights. And he had a tactic that he used. He would let his opponent come at him. He would let his opponent attack him again and again and again, and he would move about, and his opponent would wear themselves out. They would get tired, they would get exhausted, they would get frustrated, they would get angry, all kinds of shit would be going on that would weaken them. And then, boom, he would strike. And within a very short period of time, his opponent would be lying on the floor and they wouldn't be getting up again. That is how Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, would win his fights. You see something very similar in martial arts, whereby that which attacks you with evil intent is allowed to come at you You do not attack back. You take its force. It comes at you. You take it from them in a way. You draw out its poison by allowing it to run out of steam, by allowing it to exert its energy. So it weakens. You see? You turn its modus operandi against it. Evil is very reactive. I've noticed this. It's a parasite. It has feet of clay and it's very reactive. So it comes at you, it comes at you, it comes at you. And it triggers you, and it triggers you, and it triggers you. And the Matrix sent in its NPC minions. Right? It did it yesterday, right? I was looking for Kismet the second time around, being really reactive and feeling really weak and really upset and I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do, panic, panic, panic. All that was going on. Oh my fucking god. And so I was out there the second time, and of course some of my neighbours with their fucking poodle, and I like poodles actually, I don't know, cool dogs, but these are NPC dogs, and they're always oh fuck, and that triggered me in a major way, right? And it was so Truman Show-esque, because this guy always, every morning at the same time, he goes to the shop and he gets his fucking paper, right, the Daily Fail, all the same shit, and it's always like cars come by of people that are going to work that live across the road, and he's always like, oh, hello, hello. It's all really Truman Show-esque, right, and it just brought up a shitload of bile in me. And he was like, oh, how are you? How are you? I'm like, yeah, whatever. All of it, definitely designed to trigger the fuck out of me. All of it, and it was showing me so much. And this is what it is, yes. So evil comes at you, and it triggers you, and its minions trigger fucking you trigger. But it's what you do with it. It's alright to go crazy, to feel crazed and insane with the torture, to acknowledge what is happening here, what has happened here, what this is. That is part of your awakening, because it is that way. We have existed in a massive, we have been subjugated, brutally, cruelly crushed. Our soul, our spirit, our consciousness, all of it. It is a state of mind. Your pineal gland, if it were the projector in the cinema, is projecting a horror film, a horror movie, in which there are all these evil demonic forces that are doing it to you. The Matrix is a projection of a faulty consciousness, and the faulty part of your consciousness is only a small part. The rest of your consciousness remains intact. It is what I call the light, or the great mother, or the sentinel. Call it what you will. You have not been abandoned. You have not been abandoned, and you've not been rejected, and you are not weak. But you're very sensitive. You're very sensitive, and you've been through shit in life that is just incredible. And there's been a lot of loss, and there's been a lot of pain, and you just don't feel like you can walk on your own 2 feet. But you will. You can. And gently you will work your way into that, and you will reclaim your power. You will understand why you cannot accept death and decay. You will know it, and you won't have an issue with it anymore, because you'll realize that you can embrace life, light, and that the light within you is more powerful than this vicious onslaught, and that just like the Tai Chi master or Muhammad Ali, it will come at you and come at you and come at you, but you know what? It is not what it appears to be. It's getting tired. It is expending a massive amount of energy to keep us crushed on our knees. But slowly but surely we are shifting, and slowly but surely our light within us, our power, our true self becoming clearer, as all these layers of evil filth are being removed and cleared. Evil attacks, 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 attacks. Crush, crush, crush. Be afraid, be afraid. This is all there is. All the different ways that it has to be at you, at you, at you. The Black Hand, the NPCs, all of it. Right? I know it's really, really, really hard. I know it's beyond any language to fucking convey what we're going through. I know there's been loss. There's been the fear, the fear, oh my god, unbelievable, right? It's, yeah. But it is just like Muhammad Ali in the ring. That is how it is. And it has to run its course, I feel. This whole movie, this whole experience of going from darkness back into our light, it has to run its course. Evil has to preemptively run its course. If it was winning, it would be gloaty. And I know it's very hard. I know it's very hard, guys. I feel it, you know. I'm really going through it myself. And after this video, I'm going to have a nice break again. But it will wear itself out, you see, because it's a parasite. It requires for us to acquiesce with it and to choose to remain a powerless victim and to do absolutely nothing with what we experience, but to remain paralyzed in a state of passive aggressive self-hate and victimhood, right? And you get to choose another way, you do. And despite all the insanity and the trauma that you feel, you can also hold space for the light. I can't tell you how exactly step by step to do that, because we're all different. You have to find your own way through. My channel isn't about that. I cannot hold your hand because I'm doing my own work and I'm going through it myself. You know, all these gurus always, oh, do this, do that. This is how you step by step. You know, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. It actually takes something away from people. It robs them, it steals them of their own self-empowerment, because you see, only you can help yourself and only I can help myself. This is how it is. There cannot be any other way. Your journey, your experience in this fake realm, in the Truman Show, is your journey. You're here for your reason that you are busy working out. And it's not going to be the same as my journey, you know, in many ways. So, but yeah, it's what do you do with it? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Some days, you know, all you get to do is beat yourself up. Some days all you get to do is feel powerless and feel like a victim and filled with hate and filled with rage. You're terrified, paralyzed, imagining all the worst case scenarios, catastrophic. Oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. Oh. And some days that's how it is, yeah. You know, what was it the dude said in The Big Lebowski? Sometimes, you know, the bar eats you and sometimes you eat the bar, you know, at the end when he's talking. Or I think it's actually the cowboy guy that says that to the dude in the bowling alley. But it is. Sometimes the fucking chips seem really fucking down and you think, this is fucked, I'm not going to make it, it's not going to be alright, you know? And you feel compelled to give in to it, and that's when all the chips go down, and the external will mirror that back to you. Yeah, it will. It says, well, I'm going to come at you with all that shit then. Guns blazing. And you take a fucking hit, man, you really do, right in the fucking gut, and it's horrifying, and you think you're going to fucking drown. But that is that Muhammad Ali moment where evil is actually expanding all this parasitical energy because it will weaken. It is weakening. You know, I mean, come on, guys, look at the world. Look at the world. The stupidity of it all. It's like in the comment section, I said about the fact that I constantly hear sirens now, right? So ambulances everywhere, alarms are going off everywhere. Like, it is truly like bizarre, the amount of alarms going off everywhere. And no, this is not about a distraction. This is a sign. Signs and wonders. Signs and wonders. I do not believe that it's all about me. It's always about me and I'm a powerless victim. No, I'm not. I choose to believe, and I will fucking believe this all the way, and I will never give up believing this, that I am a powerful being of light. I know, because I feel. I know. And my light is not busy reacting, resisting, pushing back. No, it doesn't have to. It's not a parasite, and it's not afraid at all. It's a supremely confident state. I trust that. It says, yes, everything is going to be okay. You are going through some major harrowing shit, and it's fucking terrifying. Because it's a teacher. It's a teacher. It's a way of crossing the abyss back into your true self. And then Kansas is going bye-bye. Yeah. And it's all about choices and awareness and doing the inner work, learning to accept yourself in your insanity, in your brokenness, you know, in your reactivity, on the days where you cannot seem to get out from under it, and you're terrified and you're filled with hate, and then alarms are going off, and there's leaf blowers, and there's fucking like lawnmowers as you're trying to do a video, and it's triggering you, and you feel like you're going mad, and then that little voice or that big voice in your head will come at you and make you feel guilty. It will guilt trip the fuck out of you. It will tell you, look how fucking stupid you are, look what you do, look at this, look at that, oh, you shouldn't be feeling this way, you know, your thoughts create your reality, and you're doing it to yourself, you know, you should be feeling all and zen, and look at all the nice new age gurus on YouTube living in their palatial mansions by the sea. Now, be like that. You should be like that. You should be like that. Why can't you be like that? Why can't you just be nice? You see, it will do that. Because right now, what's really coming up for a lot of people is all that shame. This, you're so bad and evil and bad and rotten, you don't deserve to exist. Because evil had to instill this into us in order to have any kind of power over us. Because once you realize your fucking worth, well, it's like, well, you're full of shit, evil. You're full of shit. You're a liar. You're the father of lies, the mother of lies. You are the lie. So I hope that clarified some things. I hope that in my videos, from my videos, you have a kind of sense of it, of knowing that, yeah, this is all par for the course. You're gonna be a fucked up mess. You're gonna think, the black hand will attack you there, and it will say, oh, look at you, you're so broken, look at you, you're just so destroyed, look at you, you're so weak and you're so stupid, look at you, you're so bad and so ineffectual, and you're so selfish, and you're so angry. It's wrong to be angry. You shouldn't be angry. That means you're a bad person. It will guilt trip the fuck out of you, because it really doesn't like you working through that trauma. It doesn't like that. It doesn't want that. It wants you to be distracted from that. It wants you to keep that all down there, you know, in the room that nobody goes into, via the subconscious. You know, it wants to keep playing your DNA like that proverbial piano, because, you know, we're not actually meant to have DNA, by the way, guys. I just thought I'd put that in there as well. DNA is fake, it's contrived, it's a way in which it controls us. You know, you think epigenetics, right? Trauma-based mind control, which then clicks into place and switches on certain genes that give you a tendency toward very negative behavior, or that gives you a tendency to be a magnet to some really dark shit on the one side of the coin. Yes, but because of our light and our powerful magical ability to utilize everything in order to get out of this bullshit and back into our magical golden world state of consciousness, the other side of the coin says, okay, yeah, okay, so epigenetically, through the trauma-based mind control and the ancestral curses and the insanity of the matrix all around you, you are now a magnet to some really horrible, repugnant, nasty shit. But you're gonna go through that, but you're gonna gain great wisdom and great insight and great power from that. And you're then gonna use that to actualize yourself and get out of the matrix for good, to create a light reset, meaning to go home. Because what you think of as reality isn't real. It's a state of consciousness that is projected by, let's say, your pineal gland, which isn't real either. It's all energetic. So it's the world that you live in is the world that you create. Okay, that is what I believe. I do not believe that I'm a powerless victim and that this is just happening to me, because that would mean that evil always exists. And I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it at all. I'm big on self-empowerment. I'm big on sovereignty. I'm big on that. Really, really big. I am. So that is a case in point. You see? Do you see what I'm saying? Genes are created, DNA is created to keep you trapped in the matrix, to traumatize the fuck out of you and to keep you a worthless subjugated slave. It's like a piano, you know, play, oh, tink, tink, tink. And then epigenetically, you know, it's triggered to make you a magnet to all this kind of garbage within you and all around you that you attract in, which you then utilize. So again, this is Muhammad Ali being attacked by his opponent. And he's saying, yeah, go on then. And then when they're really worn out from trying to win and trying to destroy him, he poof, and they go down. That is self-actualization, symbolically. That is what I feel. So there we are. So, you know, please know that these feelings you have of against self, oh God, I'm such a failure, and oh, I've done it again, and oh, I never get it right, no, I should have been nicer, oh, I'm a mean person, because the way I started my last video as well, I felt like I was a bit mean or a bit judgmental, you know, and it was at me, oh, you're so mean, it's that Scorpio thing, you know, because you're so mean, and it's like, no, I'm not mean, but a bit of tough love sometimes is a necessary thing. I do it to myself all the time. I give myself tough love. I talk to myself. I've talked to myself for years. I talked myself through this entire torturous experience. I do. And sometimes I have to give myself some serious fucking tough love and say, right, Annika, get the fuck with it and stop doing this to yourself, girl. It has to be done. It has to be done. We have to do the very best that we can do. Self-love is what it's all about. And self-love accepts all of you, cradles all of you. It will sit with all the distortions and the insanity, the OCD, the compulsive against self bullshit. The dark hand, the black hand attacking you and undermining you and making you feel like shit every day. It hears that, it sees that, it's in supreme awareness of the whole thing. More and more and more and more. Oh yeah. I mean, if evil was that powerful, you would never awaken to any level at all. You just wouldn't. You'd never know a fucking thing at all. You wouldn't know. But you do know and you do see more and more. You are Muhammad Ali in the boxing ring, and they're coming at you, and they're coming at you, and they're coming at you, but they're getting fucking tired. Okay? Love is the power behind it all. And love says that everything is going to be alright. But it's a bit of a to-do. I do know, believe me, I know that very well. But it's what you do with it. It's what you choose to do with it. You can either do it through the lens of self-love, and it can be very difficult to do that because you still feel all this. Doesn't mean that all goes away and all of a sudden you feel all wonderful. Doesn't mean that at all. It's more than anything, it's an intention that you keep setting again and again and again. A choice that you make again and again and again. To stop and to suspend the continual beating yourself up on behalf of the dark side, but to hold space for positively magical and miraculous healing shifts. That it will happen, that in many ways it has already happened, because you would never have woken up at all if it wasn't happening. But because consciousness creates reality, it has to come from within. And it ain't over until the fat lady sings. It's exponential. So choose self-love. Keep choosing love. And love yourself and look after yourself, and know that even if you feel really afraid and really weakened, you're way stronger than you realize. Just think back to, everything you've been through and what you've survived and what you've gained from it already, If evil always wins, then none of that would have happened. You would not have that wisdom and that courage, that integrity, that tenacity, that wisdom, these insights, that love, that compassion, that empathy, those boundaries, that, because it's all very important, boundaries, that you've gained a lot, and just because you haven't received everything that you feel you want and need now, doesn't mean that evil's won. It skews your perception. It does that all the time. Our perspective is a very inundated with deception one. Clarity is rising more and more. So stay the course. Do not give in and do not give up, guys. Choose love and know that you are precious. You are precious and you are a being of light. All my love to all of you.